Hello, my name is Marianne Stockton. For my behavior change project, I hope to increase the duration of shoe wearing behavior. I define shoe wearing as having both feet inside the shoes with both shoes tied during the entire school day. Shoes will completely cover both feet from toes to heel with the top line of the back of the shoe fully formed. To give you a little summary background on the participant, the behavior change project was conducted on an 8-year-old boy named Stefan. His primary diagnosis is autism. He has demonstrated noncompliant behavior in school settings from kindergarten and into third grade. Previous noncompliant behavior included refusing to complete less preferred schoolwork, such as writing and math. To this day, he does not like to write, but his noncompliant behavior has greatly decreased. However, he continues to take his shoes off during the school day and will continue to take them off even after prompted. No interventions have been attempted to increase the duration of shoe wearing behavior. Measurement and system included total duration per session in which the participant engaged in target behavior. Sessions were conducted 3 times per school day. Stefan's designated one-to-one and myself measured the total duration of target behavior. Reliability was calculated for agreement between the two of us on total duration using total duration IOA. During baseline conditions, IOA of the target behavior were between 93% and 98%, except for one time where it was 83%. During intervention conditions, IOA was 100%. I'll talk a little bit about the experimental design. A range-bound changing criterion design was used to evaluate the effects of the intervention. A changing criterion design allowed for continuous monitoring of the target behavior and before and after the intervention was introduced. A changing criterion design also allowed for monitoring of regression or advanced progression of target behavior. I'll quickly summarize the intervention. There were a lot of steps to it, so hopefully I provide enough information on this. The intervention included a multiple choice without replacement preference assessment, utilizing behavioral momentum, providing positive and negative reinforcement, and using a range-bound criterion level. To establish the first range-bound criterion level, I multiplied the shortest recorded shoe-wearing duration during baseline and multiplied that by 0.7 and used this as the lower range. To find the higher range, I multiplied the shortest recorded shoe-wearing duration recorded during the baseline by 1.25. This led me to have the first criterion, the range-bound criterion, to be 238 seconds and 397 seconds. For preference assessment, I included taking a walk around the school, going to a sensory room to swing or to bounce on a ball, playing a game with a chosen classmate, and playing a game on the iPad, or watching a video on the computer. The procedure steps for shoe wearing was having the one-to-one or myself tell Stefan that it's time to put our shoes on until the timer beeps. We then asked him what criterion he wanted to meet, if he wanted to meet the higher criterion or the lower one. If he chose the higher range in the criterion, he was allowed to access one of the top 2 preferred items. If he chose the lower range, he was only allowed to access the less preferred but still preferred activities. When Stefan engaged in the target behavior for a total duration of the criterion level, he was provided access to those chosen activities. He was also given the option to leave the shoes on or to take them off. This taking the shoes off, which he chose to do every time, was used to be a source of negative reinforcement of being able to take them off and being done with it instead of expecting him to continue wearing them. If he did not meet the criterion, we told him that we can try again next time. We also provided him 3 chances to meet the criterion. So if the shoes came off, we would approach him and let him know, hey, shoes are off. Let's start over. We gave him 3 chances to do that. If he didn't, he would not access the preferred activities. To focus on maintenance and generalization, it was important to have the one-to-one involved in all steps. The listed procedure, the procedure I just spoke about, should also continue every day until he is successfully wearing his shoes 100% of the time. As he is met with more success, reinforcement schedule should be faded out as soon as possible. I'll sum up the results really quick. The behavior change project demonstrated successful change in the duration of shoe wearing behavior. Baseline of duration of shoe wearing behavior was between 322 seconds and 854 seconds. So that's a little less than 5 minutes and then close to 15 minutes. By criterion 5, Stefan wore his shoes for 3,936 seconds, which was more than quadruple the baseline data. The trend of the duration of shoe wearing increased as the range increased. During Criterion 2, Stefan was successful 2 sessions in a row, but had one session where he did not want to wear his shoes for the Criterion, even after providing the 3 chances to restart the timer. After he was not able to access the activity he chose, he cried and did not complete schoolwork for a little over 15 minutes. But after this session, Stefan met each set criterion. Criterion 4 was brought back to the duration of Criterion 1 to demonstrate a functional relation. I will provide a quick link for the graph. I just don't have access to the printer to be able to show you, so I will attach that so that you can look at it. The graph is very clean and it does follow the criterion range. Overall, providing a choice in duration of shoe wearing behavior and making this behavior contingent to access the preferred activities was an important part of the success of the behavior change. Though the duration of shoe wearing was not at 100% of the duration of the school day, the continuation of this procedure can be hypothesized to continue with successful results. The changing criterion range may have been successful with increasing the duration in larger quantities and lead to faster change in behavior. However, I was a little hesitant to make the changing criterion increase too drastically. As the project continued, the one-to-one aide did not have to use behavioral momentum for Stefan to put on his shoes after criterion 3. She simply asked Stefan how long he would like to wear his shoes for and gave him the choice of activities to engage in after he met the criterion. And he would then put the shoes on without any other prompting. It is important to mention that when providing a choice to take his shoes off or leave them on after the criterion was met, he chose to take them off every time, which made me think that negative reinforcement of taking the shoes off, being able to take the shoes off, was a key factor. Overall, the study was successful in changing the duration that Stefan wore his shoes in a school setting. Thank you for listening. Bye.